It was the kind of morning where the wind had a real bite to it, hurrying people past the old bus stop on Lincoln Avenue. For the woman huddled on the bench, this daily rush of invisibility was a familiar, cold blanket. Her name was Elena, though the name felt like it belonged to someone in a life lived long ago. Her entire world had shrunk down to a worn-out backpack and the constant, grinding search for a safe place to rest. Her life had become a blur of hurried footsteps and people looking right through her. She was seen by everyone, but truly noticed by no one. But then, a small pair of scuffed, bright pink shoes stopped right in front of her. A little girl, no older than 6, was staring with a curiosity too pure to be rude. She was clutching a worn teddy bear with a missing button eye. After a quiet moment that somehow felt louder than all the city traffic, the girl took a small step closer. Then, in a small, clear voice that cut right through the morning chill, the little girl said the words that would change everything. "You need a home, and I need a mommy." Elena's breath caught in her throat. The words were so simple, but they hung in the air with a shocking weight. She really looked at the little girl for the first time, and saw a halo of blonde curls peeking out from a knitted hat, and big blue eyes that held no judgment, just a strange, earnest sincerity. Elena's first instinct, honed by months on the streets, was pure suspicion. She glanced around, half expecting a parent to appear, or to spot a hidden camera. Surely this was some kind of cruel joke. But there was no one, just this little girl, standing there, as if what she said was the most logical thing in the world. "What did you say?" Elena asked, her voice raspy. The girl didn't even blink. "You don't have a home," she said, pointing to Elena's backpack. "And my mommy is in heaven. The social worker says I need a new one. So, it works." Elena was stunned. She realized this wasn't just a lost child. This was something way more complicated. The girl's coat was neat, her shoes sturdy. She wasn't homeless. She was an orphan. "Kid, you can't just pick a new mommy at a bus stop," Elena managed to say, her voice softer than she'd intended. "You have a social worker. They'll find you a proper family." Elena tried to retreat back into her shell, to pull that cold blanket of anonymity back over herself. But the girl, Lily, as Elena would soon learn, wasn't giving up. Lily saw Elena shiver, her hands chapped and red. Without a word, she pulled off her own fluffy pink mittens and held them out. "Here, your hands look sad." That small act of kindness was like a pebble dropped into the still, stagnant pond of Elena's life, sending out feelings she thought were long gone. A child's mittens. A simple, selfless gift from a little girl who had every reason to be lost in her own grief. "I can't take these," Elena whispered. "Yes, you can," Lily insisted, her brow furrowed. "My mommy always said kindness is magic. It doesn't run out when you give it away." That was it. That was the moment Elena's carefully built wall started to crumble. She couldn't just leave this child alone at a bus stop armed with such dangerous, beautiful innocence. "Okay," Elena sighed, her breath a white cloud in the air. She slowly took the mittens. "I'll wait with you, but just until your social worker comes." They sought for a while, the pink mittens a comically bright spot on Elena's weathered hands. Lily chattered away about school, her favorite color, yellow, and her teddy bear capped in patches. It was strangely normal, a small pocket of peace in the middle of Elena's chaotic world. About an hour later, a car pulled up and a frazzled-looking woman in a blazer rushed out, her panicked expression turning to stern relief. "Lily, there you are! I told you to wait inside the office." The woman, Mrs. Gable, the social worker, stopped short when she saw who Lily was with. Her eyes swept over Elena, taking in the frayed jacket and the backpack, and her face immediately hardened. It was the look Elena knew all too well, the one that instantly labeled her as a problem, or worse, a threat. "Step away from the child," Mrs. Gable said, her voice sharp. But before Elena could even flinch, Lily leapt to her feet. "No, she's my friend. Her name is Elena, and she kept me safe. Her hands were sad, so I gave her my mittens." Mrs. Gable froze. Her gaze dropped to the bright pink mittens on Elena's hands, then back to the defiant little girl. She saw Lily, who'd been quiet and withdrawn for weeks, suddenly animated and protective. The hard lines on Mrs. Gable's face softened, first with confusion, and then with a slow, dawning understanding. "Is that true?" she asked Elena, her tone losing its edge. Elena just nodded, speechless. Mrs. Gable explained there had been a mix-up with the schedule and apologized. As she gently tried to lead Lily to the car, the girl dug her heels in. She turned and ran back to Elena, wrapping her arms around her legs in a fierce hug. It was a simple touch, but it was grounding. A moment of a real human connection, something Elena hadn't felt in years. "Can you come with us?" Lily pleaded, looking up at Mrs. Gable with desperate eyes. "She needs a home. We can share mine, just for a little while, please." It was an impossible request. It was illogical, and it was definitely against every rule in the book. Elena started to shake her head, ready to say no herself and save the social worker the trouble. This is where the fantasy ended. But Mrs. Gable didn't say no. She looked at Elena, really seeing her for the first time. Not as a statistic, but as a person who had shown kindness to a grieving child. She saw the deep exhaustion on Elena's face and the tiny flicker of hope that Lily's hug had just ignited. In that moment, Mrs. Gable made a decision that went far beyond her job description. "There's a family shelter not far from here," she said kindly. "It's warm, and they serve a hot dinner. I can drive you. You can both get settled." It wasn't a home, not yet, but it was a door swinging open. And as tears she didn't know she still had welled in her eyes, Elena knelt and hugged Lily back, whispering the one word she hadn't been able to say for a very long time. "Okay." The shelter was no fairy tale castle, but it was safe and it was warm. For Elena, a bed that wasn't pavement and a meal that she didn't have to find for herself felt like the greatest luxury imaginable. Mrs. Gable, true to her word, did more than just drop her off. She saw the special healing bond between the woman and the child, and she actually bent the rules, arguing that Lily needed a stable, friendly face to help her adjust. Elena started as a designated visitor, then became a volunteer at the center where Lily was staying. It was an unconventional setup, but it worked. With a stable address, Elena started to get back on her feet. She landed a job at a diner, and her hands, no longer sad and cold, were now busy handling plates and pouring coffee. She saved every dollar she could, with the image of Lily's hopeful face as her motivation. Weeks stretched into months. Elena eventually moved into a small, subsidized apartment, just a bus ride from Lily's new foster home. The foster parents, a kind older couple, understood and even encouraged Elena's role in Lily's life. Elena might not have been Lily's mother in a legal sense, but she became something just as vital. She was the one Lily called after a bad dream. She was the one who helped with homework and who knew that Captain Patches needed his own seat at the dinner table. She was family. Their story isn't some fairy tale about a magical instant adoption. It's something slower, more real, and maybe because of that even more beautiful. It's the story of two broken souls, a woman who'd lost her place in the world and a girl who'd lost her mother, who met at a bus stop and decided to save each other. They built their own kind of family, not on blood, but on a child's unwavering belief in kindness and a woman's decision to be worthy of it. And their story feels more urgent now than ever. In the United States, the most recent annual point-in-time count revealed that the number of children under 18 experiencing homelessness jumped by a staggering 33% in just 1 year. Their story is a powerful reminder that behind these heartbreaking statistics are real people longing for connection. It proves that compassion isn't a limited resource. It's just like Lily's mommy said. It's a magic that grows every time you give it away. Elena didn't just find a home. She built one. All with the help of a 6-year-old girl who was brave enough to see a mother where everyone else saw no one. If this story moved you, please consider sharing it to spread this powerful message of kindness. And for more stories that restoring faith in humanity, don't forget to subscribe.